everyone. It's JustynMichaelZolli. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your last bit of summer. I certainly have been very productive, and one of the main ways that I focused and channeled my creativity in the last 3 months or 4 months or so was in a series of book projects. As many of you who follow me on social media will have noticed, every week or so I have been promoting a new book project and releasing it with links on how to view it online and how to buy it. And I thought it would be useful today if I made a video that showed people who might be considering purchasing one of these objects just how it would look in person, because to hold this book in person and to feel it and to feel its weight and to feel its the quality of its paper and the quality of its printing, it's a very different experience than just simply looking online and kind of flipping through digital images. They are all official books. They all have ISBN numbers, a Library of Congress number, barcodes. They have, many of them have introductory essays and contributions by other writers who helped me. So, you know, they're quite labors of love. And I hope that you enjoy them and consider purchasing one. This one's called Of Ships in Light. It's a photographic essay of San Francisco Maritime National Historical Park here in San Francisco. And this was created when I was working there in the civil service, in the National Park Service, as a muralist. And I have a foreword by Brendan Wilson, who is a longtime career park ranger, and he's a great guy and a historian. He contributed an essay. And then the second one is Wonderland. This is images from Joshua Tree National Park, another national park that I particularly love here in California. It gets its title from the Wonderland of Rocks, which is an area of sandstone polished boulders. Then this next series is what I call Atlas. Now these are large format coffee table sized books that are reprints I revisited this project. And what they are pairings of photographs that share a lot of compositional correspondence. And I thought these books would be useful for artists to kind of be able to look at nature and start to see and understand how nature just creates with a few laws and makes lots of different kinds of permutations and variables. And but if you can start to see the correspondences, you can begin to see how to read the language of nature as an artist does, not as a scientist exactly, but as an artist. It's called Tree Song, and these are only photographs of trees, and those trees are in all manner of state, burned and charred and leafy and covered in moss and in the mist, and I was lucky enough to get a contribution from my friend and poet Jean-Pierre Weingarten, who contributed probably about 7 or 8 beautiful poems on trees. This was an older book called Selected Works on Paper, and these images are drawings mostly. And then this was a book that's brand new, and it's small. It's only 7 inches by 7 inches, but it basically is a book that is about my sketchbooks. It's derived from my sketchbooks when I was living in New York. Basically, when I was living in New York, I was never without a sketchbook, and I always made tons and tons of drawings and paintings, and I never showed them to anybody. And so I decided to publish some of the better pages in this little book. From my New York years. Okay, so then these are drawings. There's me on the mountain on North Dome. But these are all line drawings and mostly ink drawings. And they're derived from the forces of nature. Creeks and waterfalls. And then this is Tree Song. And this is about an 8x10 book. And it's beautifully printed. And as you can see, it's quite a lot of pages. Poems, trees in the mist, and a lot of meditations on light, but mostly exploring the forms of nature and the subject of trees. So it's not really a book on the science of the tree, or you're not going to learn anything about the biology of the tree. It's mostly a book of the beauty and artistry and aesthetic of trees in their landscape, right? I mean, this is clearly maple leaves, but it's mostly about the light coming through the maple leaves, right? Or the forms that the branches take when they're silhouetted, for example. Or hollowed out by wildfire. It's mostly, a result of my looking deeply at nature and trying my best to study the book of nature. These atlas books, they pair images that are similar in composition. This was shot from far away as a rainbow passed from the mist of the waterfall behind the rocks, and it gave you this rainbow. But here you have a kind of a similar composition from red rocks here in Nevada. So you kind of have a mirroring of these two compositions. And so this is what you'll get if you order one of these books. Here's an example, another example. So this is looking at the surface of a lake and its reflection of the late evening sky. And then this is looking up at the underside of a cloud cover. And you can kind of see that they have similar evocative forms in the way that they represent light and the kind of a unified field. So that's the point of these books. They're beautiful, but they're meant also to educate you. This is the book on Joshua Tree. And here's the Wonderland of Rocks. This book was dedicated to my dad, who was a naval officer and was the first guy that I knew who went to sea in ships. It's called Ships in Light because it's always an exploration of light bouncing off the various forms of the ships and the water and the waves and the buildings. The light beaming off of the waves onto the hulls of the ship. It was something that really always found particularly beautiful. So that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please visit my website, which is www.JustynZolli.com, and follow me on social media, and you'll be able to find the link to the bookstore. So thank you very much for watching, and grazie, and stay safe. Ciao.